Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, we will have the playing of our national anthem by the Gatlinburg-Pittman High School Highlander Marching Band. In preparation, I invite you to stand. Prior to the anthem, please join me as we bow our heads in reverence to God. As we begin our prayer this evening, we pay homage to the memory of two Gatlinburg-Pittman family members, Rolly File and Kenny Oakley. There is no one who showed any greater support for GP football through the years than did Kenny. He loved his family, he loved his community, and he loved GP football. Rolly, a 2006 Gatlinburg-Pittman High School graduate and an outstanding football player at GP, was known for his work ethic, his desire to compete as a team player, and for his wide, winning smile. These young men will be greatly missed and greatly remembered. Tonight, Lord, as we reflect on these lives, we celebrate life by participating in and watching this football game. A game that opens a new and exciting season at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, rich in tradition. We thank you, Lord, for this opportunity, and we thank you for the many opportunities we have in life, and may we never take any of them for granted. As we enjoy the game, may we also learn. As teams must set goals and make plans and work to reach their goals, may all of us learn to do the same. As teams must have positive attitudes followed by positive actions, may all of us learn to do the same. As teams must get excited over potentials and possibilities, may all of us learn to do the same in the many areas of life. We look forward tonight to a game that exemplifies the very best in competition. A game that holds high the ideals of good, hard-hitting football and spotlights the very best in sportsmanship from participants and spectators alike. In the name of our Lord, we do pray. Amen. See the captains tonight for Gatlinburg-Pittman, being number 32, Bo Dyer, and number 7, Chase Young. For Tellico Plains tonight, being number 12, Eric Best, and number 42, Adam Crocker.
Back here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School getting set for kickoff. Captains at the middle of the field. Number 7 for the Highlanders. That's Chase Young, the senior, as well as number 32, Bo Dyer. Captains for the Bears from Tellico Plains. That's number 12, Sonny Cole, and number 42, Adam Crocker. Rob, great to be back in the booth.
Mike, it really is. You know, it's something that we've been looking forward to all summer and talked about. Are we going to do the broadcast, going to get the group back together? And, of course, you know, when you live in Gatlinburg, everybody talks football year-round. You know, you talk about the players coming up, coaches, you know, what are they doing for camp? What kind of offense are they going to run? What kind of defense are they run? Who's playing where? You know, it's just a town that has a lot of enthusiasm for football and just a great place to be.
Of course, Gatlinburg-Pittman 10-0 on the football season last year. Tellico Plains 2-8 in a very tough region down there. Beautiful night here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Hot, humid, but it's kickoff time. Gatlinburg-Pittman has won the toss, Rob, and have elected to receive and defend the scoreboard. So GP ready to go on offense.
Well, Mike, this probably is the hottest opening day kickoff in the history of East Tennessee high school football.
Of course, head coach Benny Hammond is starting his 36th season here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, and his counterpart down at Tellico Plains, Trevor Hunt. And, of course, Rob, Tellico Plains, their 4th coach in the last 4 seasons.
Mike, a lot of turnover in East Tennessee, not just at Tellico Plains. If I'm correct, 6 out of the 10 teams that we play this year have first-year head coaches.
They better have it
They better have it strapped on. Of course, you know, Coach Hammond's coming in his 36th season, and everybody talks about, are the boys going to be ready this year? What kind of team are we going to have? You know, we lost this player. How are we ever going to replace him? But, you know, the thing is, as long as Coach Hammond's is there, we've got a shot. You know, it's not necessarily a rebuilding process with him every year. He comes in with a great record, 268 wins, 120 losses, been to the playoffs 25 times. The guy's had a pretty impressive career.
Deep for the Highlanders, standing at their own 15-yard line, number 7 in the middle, that's Chase Young. To the upper part of your screen, number 10, Bo Owens, and to the bottom part, number 32, Bo Dyer. And we're underway here from Hammond's Field. Ball is fielded right there. I think it was Zach Sutton. No, it's number 11 right there for the Highlanders. That's Kyle Horner. Very poor kick right there. Good return by Horner. GP, excellent field position right at the 40-yard line.
I would say that's the last thing Kyle Horner had on his mind during summer camp, that he was going to field the opening kickoff of the season, but he did a nice job of catching it and hanging on to the football.
Of course, Rob, you know, he's a tight end, junior tight end, 6'1", 185, so he's used to handling the football some. Number 16 at quarterback, Taylor Ogle for the Highlanders. Picked up that nickname T.O. Janey split to the right. Young to the left on 1st and 10 for the Highlanders, getting ready to take their first offensive snap of the 2007 season. Taylor goes deep downfield. That's Young. Great catch right there. He's going to say he's out of bounds there, but
well,
Rob, what a catch!
You know, I think he did lead him out of bounds, but when they lined up in formation, our great statistician and spotter Marty Nicely said they're going to throw the ball deep to Young. Look, you see the corner back up there, and I don't know if they give Taylor Ogle the opportunity to check off, but I'm sure the coach in the press box saw that guy. And one thing, Mike, Chase Young's a fast player. Line the cornerback up a yard off the football with his back turned to the quarterback. We're going to go to that again.
2nd down 10 for the Highlanders. Tight end right, L right formation for GP. Dyer on the handoff, hit hard right there, hammered after a pickup and maybe worn out to the 41-yard line. Tough defense by that front 5 of the Bears.
Well, Mike, coming into the season, there are some things that we know. We know that Matthew Pitzer and Bo Dyer are really solid East Tennessee high school football players, and really they're going to be good ones. We know that Taylor Ogle is going to be a good quarterback, got a couple good receivers, but we've replaced a lot of guys up there on the offensive line, and it's going to take these guys a while to get ready.
Tall sweep, that's Dyer, running room, Pitzer in front, trying to get to the corner, cuts it upfield, close to a 1st down, Rob. Let's see what kind of spot we got here. Going to be very close, and I say from this, it's right in front of us, Rob. I think he's got it.
Mike, I think he's going to be about a yard short.
First down, Highlanders. Great effort right there as you see the replay there by number 32, the senior Dyer for the Highlanders, who had a great one-quarter of football last week over at the Jamboree against William Blount. Almost 59 yards, actually 58 yards rushing last Friday night. First and 10. Young split to the left. Pitzer, left side, trying to get to the corner. Cuts it back inside. Still on his feet, pounding, twisting. Nobody's going to catch him, Rob. Touchdown, Matthew Pitzer, 49 yards on his first carry of the season.
Well, Mike, I tell you, that was a great run. He did have good vision right there. Looked like he was trying to get the ball off tackle, but he read where the hole opened up, made a nice cut, and then like all the good ones do, he broke his first tackle. And you know, his speed's a little deceptive. He's a big, strong kid, but then he kind of turned it on. That's a beautiful run.
Matt Robertson to snap the football. Ogle to Ho, Pitzer to tie to tack on another point. GP a little late getting a man in there, but still plenty of time there. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So here with 10:51 remaining in the first quarter of tonight's opening season ball game, GP on top 7-0 here at Hammonds Field. Rob, a good way to start the ball game. As you get a good look at the replay, breaks the tackle there and cuts it back up, and then breaks another tackle, and then, hey, nobody's going to catch that young man. Rob, remember you can see this replay on Channel 4, the PEG channel, downtown Gatlinburg. Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. And if it's a big win and there's not much going on the PEG channel, Kevin will keep that thing running sometimes 24/7.
Mike, one thing that we're anticipating tonight is the flyover.
Sounds like a little bit late, but or it's a helicopter or something. I don't know. Or it may just be static in the headphones. Pitzer to kick off for GP.
Of course, you cannot run the ball out of the end zone in high school football. Matthew Pitzer, Mike, almost kicked the ball really to about the 2-yard line there. Certainly one of the most versatile players on the field tonight. He'll be starting at linebacker, fullback, and in a three-back backfield at the halfback spot, but and of course kicking duties.
Tellico Plains, good quarterback right there. Number 12, Eric Best, 4-year starter for Tellico Plains. Anytime in high school you got a 4-year starter, pretty good athlete. They spread to Phil here. Option left side, ball loose right there. Reverses his Phil. Going to run into Bo Dyer right there, and he's going to be hammered for a loss back at the 12-yard line.
Well, Mike, one thing you like to see right there, Neil Estes is anticipating the quarterback to be their entire offense. They're going to run a lot of sweeps. Of course, he opened up with an option, and you see number 80, Zach Sutton, the defensive end, taken right there in the quarterback's face. And then we got somebody on pitch right there. But the thing that you really like to see is when he reverse field, ran all the way across, you had at least 10 blue jerseys on the football field.
Second down, 16 for the Bears from Tellico Plains. Still in that wide open set there. Best drops, looks, wants to throw the football. It ball's up for grabs. Closest man to that, number 7, Chase Young for the Highlanders.
Of course, Chase Young, you know, I'm really expecting a big year out of Chase Young. You know, he had some big plays last football season, but he probably, out of everybody on the team, had the best offseason. I think that he had best lifter, which means for pound, he's the strongest man on the team, pound for pound. He's got great speed, but I think he's going to have a great year.
Gatlinburg-Pittman, 15,000-pound club members this year, the second best they ever had. Last year, 17. Third down, 16, Tellico Plains. Wants to pass again. That ball's going to be almost picked off there by number 17, Jeffrey Janney. Flag comes down, Rob, but I don't know about that call there. 2 flags did come, so Jeffrey may have been guilty of an infraction there.
Mike, it looked to me like he was just inside the receiver and just beat the receiver to the. Yeah. Maybe not a bad call. course, one thing you notice early on, a new defensive look for the Highlanders going in a 4-4. I mean, we've got 4 down, 4 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers. And we had a couple guys that moved away. Billy Mullins moved away. Glenn Carr, who would be a senior defensive lineman, did not come back. So we're rotating some guys in there at defensive lineman. Right now we got a sophomore, number 58, Elijah Casey, in there at the right tackle spot. But he's going to be rotating. Got big number 61, Michael Dodig, Alfonso Elman, and Keelan Bryce. All those guys are going to rotate in, which early in the season in this hot weather, that's not a bad thing.
Rob, it's hot up here, even this window open and the air on. You know those guys down there are feeling it pretty good themselves. Twins left and right for best on 1st and 10 Bears. Little trap inside there. Not much going on there, Rob.
Mike, I can tell you one thing that I already like about this year's defense better than last year's defense. It looks like to me that we're a lot faster at the linebacker position. We got 4 guys. We just look like we're a lot faster. See those guys attacking the line of scrimmage, getting a good quick read, getting out of their stance and running to the football.
No gain on the play. 2nd down 10. Telco Plains. 9:24 clock running. GP on top. 7-0 here at Hammondsville, Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Rob, it looked like option, but I don't think it looks like it was premeditated. Quarterback keeper off.
Pretty good play. Maybe we can get a replay on that. That's a pretty good defensive tackle play right there. You know, everybody talked about having to rotate guys in there and getting some new guys. That's a pretty good job by that front group.
Good job by producer Randall Bryan, who's, hey, he's a little knee surgery this week, but he's here, Rob. 3rd and 10, Telco Plains. Best looks, that ball is going to be incomplete there.
Randall can play hurt.
Good coverage by the Highlanders. That'll bring up 4th and 10.
Probably the first time we've ever had to send one of our broadcast crew down to Scott Bird at halftime for ice and get taped.
D for GP right there. Standing back at the 40-yard line. That's 32 Dyer and 10 Owens.
Mike, you just have to feel real good about our skilled players. Owens, Dyer, Hagan, Sims. You know, we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of. We've got a lot of versatility in our skill players.
Timeout, Telco Plains. It's Gatlinburg-Pittman principal Don Best, assisted by Reed Landry and Mike Rader, who came on board as assistant principal this year after Coach Lee Hammonds departed to become the head coach of the Tigers down at Pigeon Forge.
I don't think any of our fans have that date marked on their calendar, do they?
I say it's highlighted on a lot of calendars on the refrigerator. And speaking of the helmet out there, Rob, beautiful helmet right there, but I was over here earlier today, and of course the coach was lined to fill off yesterday, and they was waiting until this morning to do the helmet because Coach Lee Hammonds had been in charge of that, and nobody could really take charge. Paige Yates was out there, Adrian Popes was out there, Larry White. Finally got this young lady, her name is Jenny Pink, who actually did the helmet there. I think she helped out a little bit last year, but great girl, Jones Cove girl, and
she did a great job.
Great job.
Of course, you know, the field looks beautiful, and that's one thing about Coach Hammonds, and that, you know, he's organized. His facilities are better than anywhere we'll ever go. He always has the stadium clean and painted. Everything's in great shape. And Mike, we've been in the hottest drought that this East Tennessee's ever been in, and he's got the field looking beautiful.
I think GP's going after this. They like to do that, and they bring Chase Young up here, number 7. That ball's going to be blocked by who by? Chase Young's going to be picked up by Bo Dyer. Put your head down there, Bo. That's all right. I said Bo Dyer make that number 22 for the Highlanders. That's Lee Douglas.
And, Mike, you called it, lined up right there with Chase Young. And you know, the guy's just, you know, he's worked himself into a great football player. He's fast, he's strong, he's a smart ball player. Just gets a great jump. You know, he's watching the snap out of the corner of his eyes. And, you know, one thing that's hard to teach a high school kid to do is they want to go when they see the punter catch the ball, that's where they want to go to. They don't think where the ball is going to be after it leaves his foot, and Chase Young just timed it perfect.
GP perfect position at the 14-yard line. Twins left for the Highlanders. Little trap inside Pitzer, and he's going to cut back inside and pick up his second touchdown of the season.
Mike, they made that look awful easy.
Big numbers already for the junior running back.
Matthew Pitzer, 6'1", 205 junior. Of course, everybody talks since he's come in here as an 8th grader. You know, he's a great athlete. Everybody compares him to Eric Brackens.
2 carries, Rob, on the season. 63 yards already. Pretty good average there. Robertson to snap. Ogle to hold. Pitzer to kick. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So here with 8:13 remaining in the first quarter from Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, it's the Highlanders of GP all over Tellico Plains, 14-0. Of course, Rob, big night, middle school football last night. It's here's a replay. We'll get that in just a second right there. Good trap block right there by number 53. That's Michael Hauser for the Highlanders.
Hey, Adolfo Ellman pancake block there.
Go get another shot of that, Randall.
Hey, this is what that's going to get him a helmet decal right there. That was Adolfo's touchdown.
Rob, of course, the Highlanders cheerleaders tradition doing those leg kicks after each score points. They're going to have a good workout tonight. They'll have to go to therapy in the morning there.
Hope they're drinking their water.
All right, GP to kick off. Deep for Tellico Plains. Smith and Johnson standing at their own 5-yard line. Going to be fielded by Smith at the 13. Nice little wedge back in there. Still on his feet. Tripped up finally at the 26-yard line.
Of course, we have Jim White doing the PA again this season. Invocation by Carl Mays, the FCA director.
Of course, we got the chain gang going on again tonight. Of course, it looks like from here, can't tell. Looks like Dwight Maples, Kenny Maples, and I think it may be Mike Leatherwood down there. Of course, Dickie Hickam had a nice new T-shirts, man.
Supervisor Dickie Hickam.
Quarterback keeper. Nice gain up across the 30, up close to the 32-yard line.
Of course, you know, one thing, Mike, that they do, they say their quarterback is the show. He's probably their best athlete, maybe their only real good athlete, and they get those wide line splits. And it looks like they just give him a lot of leverage, and what they want him to do is drop back and pass, and if there's an opening to tuck it down and run. Of course, Mike, if I'm correct, we haven't played Tellico Plains in 15 years. Does that sound right?
15 or 16 years. GP defeated them up here at Hammondsville by a score of 6-3 in double overtime. Short gainer that time is going to bring up 3rd down and 2 for Tellico Plains.
Of course, they brought a nice crowd along with them. It's not deer season down there yet, so they have a lot of fans going to the ball games.
I'd hate to be in a deer stand right now. I'd hate to be in a deer stand in December. Same set for Tellico Plains. Motion to the right this time, a little movement right there. Looks like a left tackle there, number 64, jump for him for Tellico Plains, so we're going to bank it up right here. Of course, what I was going to say, Rob, big night by the middle school football team traveling up to Cott County last night, defeating Cott County 30-6. I was out at Pittman Center School this morning over at Pi Phi as well, and talked to some of those 7th and 8th graders that played, and they just pumped up. You know, had that chest out there, had that little veiny rooster walk to them, and hey, they're excited about coming to the ball game tonight.
Walking around with their combs red.
That's right. 3rd down, 7, Bears. Wants to go deep. Taylor Ogle on the coverage. Nice coverage there. Incomplete. So that's going up another 4th down in a kicking situation for Tellico Plains.
You know, one thing about Taylor Ogle, I know his dad was just nervous as a cat every time he'd go into the game as a quarterback last year. I really have a lot of confidence in him. And one thing that he does better than that he's really, people underestimate, is he really runs pretty well. He's 6'4", 175 pounds, and you know, he just does a great job sometimes back there playing center field.
Looks like GP's going to go after it again here. There's Young. He's got, oh, almost have another one, Rob. Owings at the 48. Cuts back inside. There's Bo Owings still on his feet, twisting, turning down inside the 30, close to the 27-yard line.
Of course, Bo Owens, the son of Bobby Owens, and you know, remember how small he was? He's a good-looking athlete now. He's always been a great runner. You know, he used to do the triathlons. Has always been in terrific shape, but he's really turned into a good football player.
Nice return by Owens.
24-yard punt return. First and 10 for the Highlanders.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line. Dyer, left side. Trying to get to the corner, tripped up there as he rambles down inside the 25, close to the 24-yard line.
Evans on the stop. We got a pickup.
I tell you, number 2, Matt Robertson, put a great block on the corner right there. And, you know, we were kind of worried that he wasn't going to get to play. He had some health issues over the summer. His older brother played for us several years, but I think he's going to end up being the better player.
Hagan Sims split to the left side for the GP. Slot formation, puts him in the slot. Sutton the tight end. Little inside handoff right there, the old 91 play. Not much going there. Maybe a pickup of 1 down close to the 27-yard line.
McMahon calling from behind. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
Mike, this would be a great opportunity to try to get Chase Young or Hagan Sims split wide. Try to get those cornerbacks to come up on them with their backs turned to Taylor Ogle and just let them run a go.
Sims to the right, Sutton tight end left side. 3rd down, 5, GP. Long snap count. It looks like T.O. may have had that hard count there and has drawn Tellico Plains off. Let's see what the call is. All sides, Tellico Plains. May have to measure this here, Rob. Of course, a lot of high school football in the county tonight. Pigeon Forge hosting Skowatchie County. Sevier County High School hosting William Blount, and Seymour High School hosting Heritage.
Should be 3 wins in the county tonight.
Going 1st and 10.
I know there's going to be 1 here.
Looks like about the 13.
So it is a 1st down at the 12-yard line.
17.
Make that 17-yard line. Sims to the right, same set for the Highlanders. Dyer, left side, still on his feet, trying to bounce outside, then back inside, down inside the 15, close to the 13.
Well, Mike, you can count on Bo Dyer is going to run as hard as he can because he's the senior tailback. Matthew Pitcher, the junior fullback, already has 2 touchdowns, so you know Bo Dyer wants 2 touchdowns tonight. You know, he looks good. One thing that Bo Dyer looks to me like is that he really over the summer worked on his speed training. He looks like he's slimmed down a little bit. He still looks strong, but he looks a little quicker. Looks like he's just trimmed down. He's very lean. Actually looks a little faster.
Ogle looks, has a man across the middle. There comes the flag right there. Now I think that may have been incidental contact, Rob. I don't know. It looks like Chase Young tripped over the defender there. I want to get a replay of this, but he was wide open there. Let's see what the call is. A little pressure on Ogle that time. Good job. I don't know if we can. I think he just fell down. Nevertheless, a good call for the Highlanders. GP on top, 14-0. Here with 3:53 remaining in the first quarter at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School.
Mike, no doubt they get that call wrong more than any other call in football.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be 1st and goal on the 7.
You know, one thing we were talking about, you're talking about painting the helmet and the fact that Coach Lee Hammonds, Coach Vinny Hammonds' son, left last year to go to Pigeon Forge to take the head coaching job. And, you know, the dynamics that changed when he left. one thing, Larry White is coaching the quarterbacks. And I tell you, just watching Taylor early in the game, and you saw him right there, his footwork's just as good as ever. His mechanics are great. So that hasn't slacked off any bit because Lee was a great positional coach. But the big change is that now Coach Hammonds is back to calling the offensive plays.
Owens split to the right side, tight end left. That's Sutton. Dyer the tailback. Pitzer, crossbuck, pounding, twisting. Touchdown, Matthew Pitzer. 3-yard run.
And, of course, I'm sure that everybody that knows Coach Hammonds, when he called the pass play on the first play of the game, the first game of the season, had some jaws dropping around the stadium.
Well, mine did.
Matthew Pitzer. You know, one thing that's really interesting this year, that's something that has always had to have been agreed upon by the two head coaches and the official, is that we have a mandatory mercy rule in place in TSSAA this year.
Of course, Rob, at the end of the first half, if one team is ahead by 35 points or more, you know, the clock will run continuously the second half, except for timeouts, touchdowns, injuries, but it will run continuously unless the point differential gets down back below 35.
Good rule.
It's a good rule. Good rule. There's replay of Pitzer's touchdown run there. He did tack the extra point on, so here 3:40 remaining in the first quarter. It's the Highlanders 21. The Bears from Tellico Plains, nothing.
Mike, does it get any better? You know, it's just beautiful stadium, beautiful setting, and I've got some uncles that are visiting in town, Uncle Larry, Uncle Jim, and Uncle John. And I told them, I said, you've got to come. These guys all love football. I said, you've got to come watch this high school football game. I said, you can travel all over the country. You'll never find a more beautiful stadium. I said, it's just perfect small town America. The band, the cheerleaders, the great student section. And, you know, it's just a great setting for high school football. It just doesn't get any better. Plus, we have a quality product. We have a great football team and a great coaching staff.
And a good broadcast crew. Here's Pitzer again. And looks like one of the Highlanders
going to be offside.
I think it may have been Bo Owens, a little too quick coming down there. So we're going to kick this one over here. Tellico Plains only one first down on offense tonight, and that was by penalty. Of course, Rob, I know you still got a couple weeks before you get back in the woods. I know you hope it cools down a little bit.
I think it will. Boy, it can be really hot.
Of course, I wanted to get that scouting report to you, or a packet, as we call it, to you a little bit earlier today, and didn't have the opportunity, but I did give it to your wife, Jennifer, this afternoon. I said, well, you know, just don't have him get any baby formula.
I noticed that you had mine laminated, so I wouldn't ruin it with baby formula.
Okay, let's back it up. 5, Pitzer kick it away again. Pitzer getting a workout. That's Johnson this time at the 9. A return to the left side there. Hammered by Chase Young.
Oh, boy, I tell you, Chase Young just came down. You know, he didn't chase the ball all the way. He did a great job staying in his lanes, but when he saw that ball going to the other side of the field, he broke down, shadowed the football, and, man, he just drew a beat on that guy. What a play. We're going to see a lot of those plays out of him this year.
Rob, wait, I have a feeling we're going to get a defensive touchdown this series. Option left side, there's a pitch. Nice tackle there by number 80 Sutton, helped out by number 7 Young.
Of course, I don't know what their option responsibilities are in the 4-4. It might change with coverage, whether they're playing cover 3 or man, but great job by the defensive end, Zach Sutton. And again, Chase Young coming up from his defensive back spot right there. Well, Zach Sutton's a good-looking player. I went to the weight room a couple of times during the winter to watch the off-season workouts, and, boy, there was a couple guys that really stood out, and he was definitely one of them.
Second down, 14 for Tellico Plains. Best drops. Looks, wants to throw the football. Ball's going to be incomplete there, thrown behind the receiver. Of course, Rob had a good shot a while ago of strength coach Bruce Ruttenberg, had shoulder replacement for the second time this summer. Was going to be on the sidelines. thought he was going to be up here with us, but he is setting up in the stands right now. Doctor's orders.
It doesn't need to get jarred. I was hoping he'd stay in the press box with us. Of course, you know, you look at these at the win-loss record since Coach Hammond's been here, and you have to think that Bruce was a big part of that. You know, one of the first full-time strength programs in East Tennessee, and of course, a former power lifter, and the guy has just, you know, 30 years of working out knowledge, and I think this is his 22nd year as strength coach at Gatlinburg-Pittman.
Third down, completion across the middle there to Johansson, the receiver for Tellico Plains. Well short of the first down. Janey on the tackle for the Highlanders is bring up another punting situation for GP. Rob, this time GP definitely has a return on because, you know, with Young and Dyer back there standing at their own 50-yard line. If we get a good punt, we may have a return for a touchdown here. And it looks like we got it right here. Young trying to get it all he can on the left side there. Couldn't get behind that wall. Still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 26 yards on the repunt. Of course, GP this week opening up in what we call, Rob, 0 week on the schedule. First time
we've ever done
that. Of course, GP will be open the 10th ball game. Give you a little breathing room right there before the playoffs. Of course, this week in 0-week play, Chucky Doak is at Unaka, Cumberland Gap at Thomas Walker, Virginia, Happy Valley at Elizabeth, and South Green at Unicorn County, and, of course, Tellico Plains here at GP. Janey to the left, Young to the right. 1st and 10 Highlanders. Little trap inside again. New fullback in there this time. I think that may be Matt Robertson for the Highlanders.
Matt Robertson straight up.
You know, one thing you can count on with Coach Hammond's calling the offensive set and plays, we're going to see a lot of three-back backfield, and Matt Robertson's going to be a huge part of that this year.
Of course, next week in region play, Claiborne County at Chucky Doak, Cumberland Gap has an open date. Daniel Boone at South Green. GP travels down to Sequoia. Knoxville Grace at North Green, Unicorn County at Happy Valley, and West Green at Clownland. Same set for the Highlanders. Owens in there this time. Dyer toss sweep left side. Make that right side, cuts back inside, cuts back again. Touchdown, Bo Dyer. 20-yard touchdown run.
Well, that's a load off his shoulders. He needed to get that. Boy, what a good-looking player. And I tell you, when we look at the replay, you're going to say, I think it's number 17, Jeffrey Janney, making a great crackback block on the play.
We'll catch that replay after Pitzer attempts to add on his 4th PAT of the game, which he does. So it's Gatlinburg-Pittman 28, Tellico Plains nothing here with 1:07 remaining. Make that 1:06. 105, I'll get it out in a minute, Rob, remaining in the first quarter. Here's a replay here. I think that is number 17, Jeffrey Janey at the bottom right there. Good, nice lick right there by Janey.
Well, I tell you, we're really lucky. Zach Nichols let his guy beat him to the outside. Jeffrey Janey had to get him. It probably should have picked off one of those linebackers, but they both ended up making great blocks and letting Bo Dyer get in there.
Rob, looking at the schedule across the state, it looks like the Choctaws of Dyer County still practicing this week, so getting ready to open up next week down in West Tennessee. I guarantee it's hot down there.
They're probably picking cotton this week, getting ready for dove season. And Mike, of course, we had a lot of, you know, the big question mark coming into tonight's game. We knew some of those skill players were going to be good, but the offensive line so far has really performed well. And we got big number 61, Michael Dodig at left tackle.
Smith at the 6. Oh, hammered right there at number 33. I think that was Lee Douglas for the Highlanders.
Well, I tell you, Bo Dyer.
I think that number 33, Joey Green.
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about Joey Green in the offseason, but if you go back and look at that replay, you're going to see Bo Dyer just going down, and you know, it's what we used to call the headhunter spot right there. Watch number 32. He beats everybody down the field, and watch the lick he puts on the wedge right here. I mean, basically, he just crushed 3 or 4 guys in the wedge.
Bass still at quarterback. Eric Best right there, number 12 for Tellico Plains. Motion right side, little trap inside. Not much going right there.
Mike Tellico Plains is going to have a hard time getting anything going against this first group. And Mike, I guess is Tellico Plains 1A choosing to play up in Division 2A?
Well, actually, we'll play 3A.
I meant 3A.
I don't know.
Of course, I'm sure it has to do with travel.
So Tellico Plains calls the timeout. Of course, Rob, at halftime, we'll see the Highlander Marching Band under the performance of, under the direction of Ron Hicks, assisted by Mark Harrell. Those guys have been around for a while.
Notice they're wearing their shorts and T-shirts tonight, not wearing their dress uniforms in the 90 degree.
We could almost fit in tonight. Of course, big thanks to Don and Debbie Smith down at the Atrium Restaurant for providing the day's pregame meal for the Highlanders. You talk about a tradition.
They've been doing, how many years have they been providing pregame meals? At least 20 plus.
No, at least. Way back.
You know, Mike, talking about a lopsided game, this is obviously the mercy rule will go into effect in the second half. We've got over 110 yards rushing in the first quarter on 10 offensive carries.
Rob, GP really looking good. Best drops. Out in the flat, ball incomplete right there. Dyer on the coverage for the Highlanders.
Dyer looking for that kill shot. Of course, great group of players. You know, one thing is that, a high school our size, we always have a lot of boys playing both ways, especially those linemen. And so far, just a great performance by Michael Dodig, Michael Hauser, Keelan Bryce, Corey Nichols, Adolfo Elman, Elijah Casey, and also you see Kyle Horner in there at defensive end doing a great job. Of course, Zach Nichols at the defensive end spot.
3rd down, 7 Bears. Best in shotgun formation.
Zach Sutton, rather.
For the first time tonight. Looking, throws. Ball incomplete there, so they're going to have to punt again, Rob.
Pass intended from Miller. Incomplete. That's going to bring up 4th down. Let me go ahead and thank some more of our sponsors. Without you guys, we just can't make it.
Of course, Rob,
Variable tax service and appliance discount. Thank you very much.
Rob, is it cooling off a little bit out there?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
What is the temperature in the press box?
Temperature in the press box right now. We'll bring it to you right after the punt here. GP return on again. Bad kick. It's going to hit out of bounds and bounce over the fence here. Let's see where they spotted at. At the 33-yard line. Of course, Rob, in the booth right there, it's a cool 79 degrees.
A cool 92 in the shade.
And that's the end of the first quarter from Hammonds Field, Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. The Mountain Thicket, GP on top, 28-0. Of course, Rob, big thanks to Director of Schools Jack Parton, who is starting his 20th year here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. In fact, I got Dr. Parton calling me right there on the line.
Mike, a lot of people putting a lot of effort into the program and making it happen.
Of course, big thanks to school board member, chairman of the board, Mike Oakley, who represents this part of the county.
A lot of people involved in the program. Just walking up to the stadium tonight, I told Roger Sims, he was sitting on the bench over here on this side. I said, I'm going to have to check your ID. You're not old enough to sit on this bench yet. But anyway, Von Ogle and Frank Moore and Dickie Hickam were sitting there. And those guys have been lining off the field forever. Of course,
Oh.
Vaughn always has to find the corners, and then him and Dickey and Frank line the field off and just do a great job. And, you know, those guys have contributed so much over the years, you know, hauling equipment, hauling players, hauling coaches, lining off the field, painting the field, you know, just being there for support. Been a great group of helpers. And then, you know, the chain gang and everybody else that pitches in and helps out.
First quarter scores from across the county. In the first quarter, William Blount on top of Sevier County 6-0, and Seymour and Heritage 0-0.
Both surprises.
First and 10, Highlanders at the 33-yard line. Dyer, left side, trying to get to the corner. Tripped up right there, and a flag does fly. This may go against number 7, Chase Young, for an infraction.
You know, one thing that impressed me about Bo Dyer when I saw him in the spring scrimmages and in the summer scrimmages, he does have the speed to get the ball on the corner. But a couple of times, you know, most of the time the guy, if the defense has an angle or a cornerback does a great job of taking away the corner, you know, most guys will just kind of keep getting run out of bounds. But a couple of times I saw Bo Dyer in that situation right there cut it back against the grain and really make some great plays.
Dyer really, Rob, having a little trouble cutting the corner tonight. After the penalty from the spot, it'll bring up first down and about 18 for the Highlanders. With a trap inside there. Nice cutback, still on his feet, twisting, turning, pounding. That's Corey Jenkins for the Highlanders.
Junior, number 8, Corey Jenkins on the
A junior for the Highlanders.
Best on the stop. Looks like a gain of about 9.
Rob looks like you're looking at the replay. If he'd have cut back outside, he had some daylight.
I agree with you, but as a coach, do you really want to tell a kid to get in the habit of cutting it outside?
Don't want to do that. Crossbuck inside right there. That's Jenkins again on the carry. Not much there. They bring up third down for the Highlanders.
Hey, I like the way he looks.
A little quickness there.
Gain of maybe 1.
You know, I think, Mike, this is going to be one of those teams where we just have a lot of good, good all-around athletes that can do a lot of different things, and we can get the ball into a lot of different people's hands. We got a, triple threat in the backfield. We got great receivers. And if given the opportunity, I think we're going to have a quarterback that can throw the football.
GP 2 tight end set. That's Horner on the left, Sutton on the right. GP wishbone formation. Handoff left side there. It looks like the ball came loose, and it looks like Tellico Plains has come up with it.
Indicating the Bears got it.
You know, I'd like to see Taylor Ogle with the opportunity to throw the ball and move around a little bit with the football and make a decision. Because, you know, I've been watching that little group of boys, him and Hagan and them since they were 7th graders. And, you know, they're all pretty good athletes, but boy, they're a competitive bunch. You know, you watched them play middle school basketball. They got on the court to try to win the basketball game. And then you saw them in middle school football. They took the field to win, and they do a lot of extra things that it takes to win. You know, do the off-season program, and of course Taylor Ogle spent a lot of time seeking outside help and going to a lot of camps this summer and trying to learn a lot about football in the quarterback position.
Bass missed a wide open receiver right there. Had a little running room there.
Of course, this is really no gauge of how good we're going to be.
No,
this is not Tellico Plains is not a very good football team. And it's hot, and they're down 28-0, and
They're hotter.
yeah, I'd say they're hotter under their pads than we are.
Second down 10, Tellico Plains ball at their own 25-yard line. Option right side. Best cuts it up. A little running room this time. Still on his feet. Nice hit right there by who? Number 7, Chase Young, coming up from his safety position.
That might be one that'll make Kevin Tierney's highlight reel. Of course, one thing that the parents probably already know, Mike, and it might even be in the program this year. I think you made an effort to get it in there, that the CDs from the game tape are available for purchase, and at the end of the year, plays like that will be on a highlight film that he'll put together.
Plays like that may be on
Friday night hits.
Friday night hits.
You know, I think if I was the Knoxville news crew, I would have definitely come to Gatlinburg tonight. I bet it's hot. I bet it's 10 or 15 degrees hotter in Knoxville.
Always a little bit cooler here in the mountains.
In the mountain thicket.
3rd down, 1, Tellico Plains. Best looks, that ball is incomplete there. So here with 9:48 remaining in the first half, Tellico Plains, let's see what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going to punt, Rob.
Mike, they might play a whole football game and never cross midfield.
Haven't yet. Back deep for the Highlanders at their own 40-yard line. That's Young and Dyer, along with Owens. High snap there, pressure. It's away. Short kick. Young picks it up at the 42-yard line, cuts back inside, still on his feet, up to the 47-yard line. So GP back in business on offense again.
Mike, it's good to be back in business up here in the press box, get the old gang back together. Head cameraman and crew chief Kevin Tierney. Statistician spotter Marty Nicely, spotter Emily Wells. Head of security Chris Bryan. Instant replay producer director Randall Bryan.
A lot going on.
Randall's playing hurt tonight, playing 4 days after knee surgery. He's back at work.
Twins left for Taylor Ogle and company. Little trap inside. Again, that's Pitzer still on his feet, pounding, twisting, turning, running over people. Down inside the 40-yard line at the 38-yard line.
But, you know, producer Randall Bryan obviously getting old, having esophagus problems, knee problems. I think after the 3rd game last year, didn't he have to have carpal tunnel syndrome from the surgery from working the controls on the computer over there?
First and 10, GP at the 38-yard line of the Bears. Young to the left, Owens to the right. Trap inside there again. That's Robertson on a carry. Still on his feet, twisting. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Matt Robertson, he really ran over the official too, Rob. So that's 38 yards for Matt Robertson.
I'm telling you, Mike, I think he is a good football player. He's going to be a big part of this offense. He's not going to get the carries that Bo Dyer or Pitzer are going to get, but he's going to surprise a lot of people. But he's also going to be a better battering ram than what we've had. I mean, he's going to do a good job at fullback.
Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So Pitzer tacks on point number 35 for the Highlanders, as you see the scoreboard. Here with 9:01 remaining in the first half. GP 35, Tellico Plains nothing. I think that mercy rule doesn't take effect till the second half. Of course, a lot of fall sports activities going on here already at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Golf team in play already, middle school football underway. Cross-country team, big meet next weekend at the Cherokee Classic down in Knoxville. Girls soccer team in action again next week, hosting Halls and J. Frank White Academy. Golf team. Hey, Rob, it'd be tough carrying a bag playing golf, you know?
It'd be tough running cross-country. Of course, cross-country coach with
Rick Cross and Whit Helton.
Rick Cross and Whit Helton. And one thing that, you know, those guys, we've got a great tradition there. And I don't know if everybody in town knows this, but David Claybo, who ran cross-country at Gatlinburg-Pittman, is now at the University of Tennessee on their cross-country team, scholarship athlete down there. I think he just has a tremendous upside. He's a great body,
GP volleyball team, already 3 games under their belt. So if you need a sports schedule, just call the school and they can get it to you. That's Smith. Drops the ball at the 12 and now picks it up right there. What a running room. Still on his feet. Cuts back inside. Nice return up to the 42-yard line. Rob, how many times does it happen on a fumbled kick like that? Everybody breaks down a half a second, and then there's always a good return.
It throws everybody's timing off. You know, you kind of draw a bead, you're running down in your lanes, and you get ready to break down, start converging on the football, and all of a sudden your timing's disrupted right there.
So Tellico Plains starting out with their best field position of the night at their own 42-yard line. Twins left and right, best back in shotgun formation. Motion left side, option left side, pitch left side, hammered left side by who? Number 32, Bo Dyer, coming up from his outside linebacker position.
You know, one thing going back to that kickoff that we have this year that's great, you know, usually your kicker is your last resort if they do break it. Well, this year our kicker is Pitzer, a great tackler and a linebacker, so in pretty good shape there.
So that's a loss of 3 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down, make that 2nd down 13 for Tellico Plains. Best drops, look, being pressured, ball is complete. Nice pass up close to the 48-yard line. Their
Getting
best
close to
offensive
midfield.
Play of the ball game.
You know, one thing, you look at that linebacker core, and you see number 32, Bo Dyer, and he's the outside linebacker, and he's probably the fastest of all those athletes. And, you know, if you come out in a tight end and full house backfield, he's in there lined up behind the tight end. But when you get a team that comes out with a slot or 2 or 3 receiver set, you know, he's a good enough athlete to leave that in that front 7 and come out and play in space, drop off in coverage, or play the option.
3rd down 4, ball at the 48-yard line. Best drops, looks, wants to throw a ball again. That ball is incomplete. Good coverage out there by number 7, Chase Young, for the Highlanders.
I tell you, that guy, they had an opportunity to bring it across midfield, but Chase Young put another highlight reel hit on him.
It's going to bring up 4, and it looks like a long 4.
Got another update, Rob, from down below the tunnel. Pigeon Forge High School, 6 minutes to go in the first half. Pigeon Forge trails Sequatchie County 13-0.
We've been to Sequatchie County.
Yeah, on that great playoff run back in 1990. Tellico to punt it away. Let's make it Young at the 23-yard line. He's got a wall down the right side. He's going to cut back, Rob. Nobody's going to catch him here. Chase Young is going to go all the way on the punt return for a touchdown for the Highlanders.
And I tell you what, that's going to make the highlight reel itself, but the thing that's going to show up on the highlight reel, and I think it's number 80, Zach Sutton, just sitting there, saw it developing, knew it was going to happen, and peeled back and just absolutely leveled somebody.
75 yards on the return for the Highlanders.
Chase Young's he's going to have to drink a lot of water and take a break. I think the big block was number 80. We'll have to look at the replay after the kick.
Pitcher to attempt the PAT. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So here with 6:50 remaining in the first half, with the Highlanders 42, Tellico Plains yet to get on the board. Rob, I'm like you. I think it was Zach Sutton who made that key block, but hey, we got to get that replay up there. Good job around tonight. You know, hobbling up here with that cane and everything. It's hard to keep a good man down.
Of course, the bad thing is that's a cane that I used all summer that I let him borrow back from when I had a hurt foot. Here we go.
Couldn't have been Sutton because Sutton was applying pressure there, Robert. Let's see.
That was Sutton.
It
did not show up on the film, but see, he ensured that the ball was kicked, and then he was just kind of sitting back there watching everything.
So GP maybe trying to get some fresh legs, Rob, right there on the kickoff coverage team. And it looks like the Highlanders going to be offsides again.
Everybody's wanting to run down and make the big hit. You know, one thing you see about this team this year, you got a lot of kids really wanting to hit. And you know, obviously Tellico Plains is not a great football team, but one thing that you've got to like out of the Highlanders, Mike, especially coming out of summer camp, sometimes your legs can be a little weak. But opening night, you always see a lot of mistakes. You see a lot of fumbled snaps. You see a lot of offensive penalties, a lot of bad formations, kids forgetting to line up on special teams, a lot of mistakes, mental errors. I haven't seen that. Our snaps and our holds and our kicks have been good. We haven't fumbled the center quarterback exchange. Everything's been pretty sharp. And sometimes when you're playing a bad football team, well, it'll really show up on you because kids just kind of lose their focus and get sloppy. But they have not tonight.
Let's try it again here. That's Johnson at the 11. Behind his wedge there, cuts back inside, still on his feet, tripped up right there by, who was that right there? Can't tell from here, but it looked like it was number 8 for the Highlanders, Corey Jenkins.
Who was number 36, Caleb Bryan, and Corey Jenkins on the stop.
Rob, if you're Trevor Hunt, head coach of the Tellico Plains team, what do you tell you guys at halftime?
Boys, we got the mercy rule to look forward to, so just don't call timeout.
Ben still at quarterback in shotgun formation, dropping looks. Ball's going to be incomplete there.
You know, Mike, it does have to be a little frustrating because, you know, basically they're just dropping back and just throwing to a spot every play, and it's just not working for them. I don't know who else they have on their schedule. We do have that information in there.
Let's bring up second down there. Of course, next week doesn't get any easier for Tellico Plains. They host Sweetwater.
I'd say they'll be 0-2 going into deer season.
Fast drops. Ball is incomplete up there. Because, Rob, when you're down 42 points trying to throw the football, you know you're not going to win this game, and you know you're not going to catch up. So I'd keep that clock running, keep that score down.
You know, one thing that you can count on if you're a middle school football player and you're kind of riding the fence whether you want to play high school football or not, you know, you think you might not be big enough. You know, we've got a great coaching staff here. They're going to develop your talent and get the most out of you, but you're going to have an opportunity to play. Because one thing, and you'll see this in the second half, Coach Hammonds has always made sure that the young players on the team get an opportunity to play in the home football games.
Nice run right there from scrimmage, still on his feet. Cutting back inside there across midfield. Nice run inside the 40 down to the 42-yard line. Of course, Rob, GP's got a few reserves in the ball game right now. Another good look at the chain gain there. Of course, Jeremy Carter's down. It looks like Dwight Maples he's a clip guy this year. You know, once you go from the clip guy, your next step is crew leader.
Your next step's up on the bench with the old timers.
It's the first offensive first down for Tellico Plains. Option left side. And he's stopped by a host of Highlanders right there, led by Joey Green.
You know, Dwight's, he's always been one of my favorite guys. You remember Aaron Maples when Aaron played, he was around a lot. Just always a nice guy. You'd run into him at the store, a good guy to talk to. But he's been working the chain gang as long as I can remember.
Flag down. I think it's a personal foul face mask against GP.
That's going to be flagrant, looks like. 15 yards.
So that attack on 15 there. Tellico Plains trying to get on the board here with 5:38 remaining in the first half. They trail GP 42-0. A trap inside right there. Number 2, Matt Robertson on the tackle for the Highlanders.
One thing the coaching staff's doing, of course, they are working younger players in, but they've done a really good job of rotating some of those defensive and offensive linemen, giving some of those guys a breather. And, of course, you know, the quality of the play has not dropped down any when we put in a second-team guy.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down, 9, Tellico. Best drops, throws. The ball's going to be almost picked off there, making a diving effort for it there. 16, Taylor Ogle.
Looked like he was tipped to the line of scrimmage by number 65, Keelan Bryce. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
Mike Tellico Plains 1 of 14 for 10 yards passing tonight.
Third down, 9. Best drops, looks, throws. Incomplete there on the coverage for GP.
Of course, you know,
Number
you
12,
put
Hagan Sims.
you put that guy on a different ball team, he probably would be a decent quarterback.
4th and 9.
Really hadn't been pressured tonight, Rob. I don't think GP's got to him sack-wise.
You know, he just basically taking the ball quick, 2 or 3 step drop and just letting it go.
He's not going to get sacked. And it looks like we have a timeout on the field called by Tellico Plains. Remember, you can see this broadcast on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock on Channel 4, the PEG channel in Gatlinburg. Monday nights at 7, and also Wednesday nights at 7. Of course, next week, GP travels down to Sequoia. Been a few years since we've been down there, Rob, but, you know, it's not too bad of a drive. That's down there in Madisonville.
Last time we played in Sequoia, our statistician and our producer gave us a call from the Old Faithful Inn in Yellowstone National Park. They were playing hooky and rubbing it in.
Of course, Rob, you've been to Wyoming so many times this summer. You've probably established residency out there.
Got my resident fishing permit.
Heard about your infamous boat trip. We can't go into details on that, but all right, here we go. 4th and 9, Tellico going for it. Why not? Best looks, throws. That ball's going to be caught for a touchdown.
You know what? Not bad coverage. You got to give it to him. Just a good throw and catch.
Something positive to build on for the second half. Something else you don't see too often, Rob. Straight on kicker.
Haven't seen it in years and years. I can't remember the last time GP has not had a straight ahead kicker, and
probably since Yogi Morris.
Yeah.
That was way back.
That's how we used to do it. We'd get those square-toed kicking shoes, and we'd get a shoestring, and it'd have a middle cleat in that square toe, and you'd tie it around that and then tie it around your calf, and so it pulled your foot up. And
4 minutes and 6 seconds.
So 4 minutes, 25 seconds left in the first half. GP on top, 42-7.
Of course, that got the Tellico crowd fired up.
Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight from Tellico. course, Telco Plains down. Of course, you got to go through there, getting down to Coker Creek.
It's a hard trip.
That's a hard trip. That's almost in North Carolina if you go that way. Of course, GP spent many of years down at Coker Creek.
I spent a year there 1 week.
All right, here we go. How about Owens at the 22? Still on his feet. He's got room, and Owens is, no one's going to catch Bo there. Bo Owens is going to take it all the way for a Highlander touchdown.
Mike, that was impressive. He got that great job of catching the football, did a great job of reading the wedge, and he was getting ready to get hit, shifted the football to his outside arm, which kind of a dangerous thing to do in traffic. But, man, then he just turned the speed on. I really didn't know Bo was that fast.
He's got some speed.
I knew he was a great endurance runner. He'd done all the triathlons and all the long-distance running when he was younger. But
he's a great 800 man, too. Of course, you know, on that 800, that's almost like well, Marty's the ex-track guy out of this crew up here. But, you know.
The only track guy in this crew.
I know what I know about track. That last 200 of that 800 run, you got to kick it in gear. Was that your specialty, Marty?
He is a great track athlete.
Snap is down, and the kick is no good.
I ran 40 yards one time without stopping.
You ran the 400, Martin? Now, 400 is just a gut check.
At Berea College. Or is it university?
Don't you still do that at least 2 or 3 times a week in the mornings, right? Here's a kickoff return right there. Looks like it was about 77 yards right there.
Man, what a beautiful run.
We're all, you know, like your punt return for a TD, a kickoff return for a TD. You know, that's things that really help your kicking game. I'll say right now, the only thing Coach Benny Hammond's disappointed was that last extra point.
And, you know, it does help your kicking game, but against a good team in a tight ball game, it just helps your mentality. It's a momentum builder. I'm telling you, Mike, I'm impressed with the Highlanders, just the fact that they are playing such a sloppy football team, and we're not being sloppy. We're not playing down to that level. We're sharp, and
hey, we're getting
no
after
misfires.
We're getting after it tonight. Smith at the 5. Great return across midfield. Touchdown saving tackle by Pitzer at the 41-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You said a few minutes ago that the only thing that Coach Hamlin's be upset about is the missed field goal. Well, he's going to be a little bit upset about this because what's happened, Mike, we're up 48-7, and you do have some guys that are trying to make a highlight reel hit right here instead of staying in their lanes and breaking down and doing their responsibilities. They're going for the big hit. And you know, you need a couple of guys on your kickoff team doing that, but when you got 9 of them running down just trying to make the highlight hit, then you're going to miss it and you're going to run by the football, and that's what's going to happen. But I'm sure Coach Hammonds will remind them of that in the locker room.
Got some young Highlanders in there.
Number 36, Caleb Bryan, lined up on the hash right there, sophomore linebacker.
Number 25 out here at corner, Michael Lowry for GP. Still got Horner and Sutton in at defensive ends. Number 70, Billy Husky at defensive tackle. Understand he's had a hard week. Best looks, tucks it up. He's going to run. He's got some room there.
I tell you what, Mike, Billy Husky, if things go well for him and he stays with this football team and with this group, this coaching staff,
good things going to happen.
He could be unbelievable. I mean, I don't know that I've ever seen a kid that's naturally that big and strong, and he's really pretty decent athlete. I mean, he could be unbelievable.
Second down, 8, the Bears. Best looks. Ball's tipped right there. Nice defensive coverage by number 15, Shane Latham, the sophomore for the Highlanders.
Coach Neil Estes showing a lot of confidence in his second team unit. I noticed that time he had a blitz on by the linebacker. You know, a lot of times when you start mixing kids in, you know, not necessarily when you put the second or third group in there, when you start mixing kids in, that's when you're just creating an opportunity for a misfire or miscommunication. When you got 3 or 4 first team guys and 6 or 7 second team guys and a third team guy, that's when it's kind of gets chaotic. But he had a lot of confidence to call a blitz and a different coverage right there, and all those guys did a good job.
Best looks. Nice pressure there by number 11, Kyle Horner, number 20, Hunter Douglas for the Highlanders.
Kyle Horner and Hunter Douglas on the stop. Best on the keeper. Going to have a loss on the play. It's going to bring up 4th and 10.
Got number 75, Spencer Williams, checking into the ball game, as well as number 57, Tyler Jenkins.
Of course, Spencer Williams, Terry Williams' nephew.
Jim's son.
Jim's son, yeah.
Had a nice visit with Terry before the game tonight.
David's son. David
right.
Williams' son.
4th and 10. Ball's going to be almost picked off right there by number 20, Hunter Douglas, but GP's going to take over on downs at the 41-yard line here with 2:15 remaining in the first half on top of Tellico Plains 48-7.
Of course, this is when you start seeing all those second team, third team guys huddled behind their coaches. You'll see an assistant coach on the sideline and about 5 shadows behind them. Of course, Coach Hammonds, we talked about his great career here at Gatlinburg-Pittman, but he also has a great coaching staff, and his sidekick and really is Neil Estes, the defensive coordinator, has been with him a long time now.
Bo Owens in at quarterback now. Handoff right there. Nice run. Trying to get to the corner across midfield. Number 8, Corey Jenkins for the Highlanders. Bo Owens, the number 2 quarterback for the Highlanders.
It is a first down. Be 1st and 10 for the Highlanders. Close and best on the stop.
Pick up of about 10.5 right there. So it will be a first down for GP.
First and 10 on the 48-yard line of the Bears. We got a flag.
Long snap that time by number 10, the quarterback Owens, does draw the Bears offsides. Rob, a long first half.
Against the Bears, going to back up with 5. It's going to be 1st and 5.
Of course, one good thing about this long first half for Tellico Plains, it won't be a long second half.
They do trail by 41. Ooh.
And Mike, this is exactly what you want out of the first ball game of the season. You can't always schedule it like this. You can't always open your season with an easy team. You know, a lot of times with Gatlinburg-Pittman especially, we've had such a great program. It's hard to get a non-region game sometimes. A lot of people just don't want to play us. And you know, luckily, Tellico Plains was available to play on this 0 week. But it's going to be a great tune-up. You know, first team got great work and did a good job. Got a good workout in. Hopefully get off the field, nobody hurt. But then the important thing is you get some of these backups some really good work.
Shane Latham on the carry on the corner, 40, knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Make that 31-yard line. Nice run by the sophomore Shane Latham. Another first down for the Highlanders.
Bastion Odell on the tackle.
You see a lot of those young kids looking for blocks, and one thing I like about this young group right here, Mike, you run a toss sweep and you have the opportunity for a little bit of chaos there and people running by their guys. And I don't know that everybody was picking up the right man that like it's drawn up on a chalkboard, but you did have a lot of kids trying to get their body on somebody else and make a block.
Crossbuck right there, trying to get to the end zone. Touchdown, Highlanders. That's number 33 on the carry, Joey Green for the Highlanders.
Right. Hey, but what I was saying, you have a lot of kids trying to block somebody. They're not running by people. If somebody in a white jersey is in front of them, they're hitting them. I've been hearing a lot of good things about this Green kid over the summer.
So that GP's second/third team offense right there put on a touchdown. Has tacked on a touchdown. Pitzer to kick. Snap is up. Kick is up. Whatever, it's good. So here with 23 seconds remaining in the first half, Highlanders on top, 55-7. Of course, Rob, like I said earlier, nice halftime performance coming up by the GP Highlander Marching Band. We hadn't had a chance to talk about the cheerleaders yet. We'll talk about them in the second half. But, Rob, those leg kicks, you've got to be wearing them out.
They're going to have to take potassium supplements
They may
and
have to get
Gatorade.
at halftime right there. But GP Highlander Marching Band, you can catch them at halftime under the direction of Ron Hicks, assisted by Mark Harrell.
You know, speaking of somebody that we really haven't talked about that's a huge part of this program is athletic trainer Scott Bird.
Scott's done a great job. He's having to fill in. Joe Ayers pursued another profession. He is a paramedic EMT guy now with the city of Gatlinburg. You know, he got out of it. And Scott really, you know, Scott is not going to put someone up here until he finds the right man. That's why Scott is doing it this year, you know, until he can find the right man. He's not going to leave GP high and dry.
Good man.
Johnson at the 5. Johnson hammered, tripped up right there, not hammered.
Chase Young.
By number 7, Chase Young.
It's going to be 1st and 10, 15 seconds left to go in the first half.
You know, one thing, of course, it's tradition that we do in all of our broadcasts at the end of the game. We'll be bringing the players of the game, offensive and defensive players of the game, and the play of the game. Going to be a lot to pick from tonight.
A lot to pick from. And we'll be bringing you some halftime scores here after halftime, once we make our phone calls. Telco still looking to pass. The ball's going to be almost picked off there. Hagen Sims, number 12, the junior, on the coverage for the Highlanders. Great crowd on hand here tonight. Hot crowd, humid crowd. Quarterback sneaker that time. Best still on his feet, cuts back. Got a little something going there until right there. And that's going to be the end of the first half. We'll show the scoreboard. Halftime score, Highlanders 55, the Bears 7. We'll be back with the second half kickoff in just a few moments.
Let me make a quick announcement. I know the van's coming out. Don't forget to come to the spaghetti supper for the next home game for the Gatlinburg-Pittman. It's the Gatlinburg-Pittman School Cafeteria for the school soccer players. Also, there will be a yard bake sale tomorrow next to the fire department on Highway 321 to benefit the Lady Highlanders soccer team. Gatlinburg-Pittman High School Band. The officers for the band are Ann Catherine Ney, drum major Lindley Houston, band captain Ida Welburn, drum captain and Chelsea Sands, guard captain. Directors are Ron Hicks and Mark Harris. 50 years ago this fall, the musical West Side Story made its Broadway debut. Tonight, the band salutes this musical written by Leonard Bernstein. Selections include Prologue, Tonight, I Have a Love, and Mambo. Would you now please focus on the platform to the left of the stadium? The 2007-2008 Gatlinburg-Pittman High School dance team will now perform for your halftime entertainment. This performance is dedicated to their biggest supporter, Carson Sims.
Marty Nicely here at halftime, where GP has completely dominated the first half and leads 55-7. Unofficial statistics for Tellico: first downs 3, 2 of those were by penalty. Passing 2 of 18 for 36 yards. Rushing 14 rushing attempts for 48 yards. Total offense 84 yards. Punts, they punted 6 times for 13-yard average, had 1 punt blocked by Chase Young. Penalties, penalized 5 times for 29 yards. Their scoring came with 4:25 left to go in the second quarter. Quarterback best to Standridge, wide receiver, 32 yards. PAT was good, and at that time it was 42-7. For Gatlinburg-Pittman, first downs 8, passing 0 for 1. Rushing, 17 rushing attempts for 177 yards. Total offense, 177 yards in the first half. GP lost 1 fumble and was penalized 4 times for 45 yards. Scoring summary, bear with me and we'll try to get through this. First quarter, 10:51. Pitcher, 44-yard run. Point after was good. It was 7-0. 8:13 left to go in the first quarter. Pitcher, 14-yard run. Point after was good. GP led 14-0. Nothing. 3:14 left to go in the first quarter. Pitcher scores again on a 3-yard run. Point after was good. Score 21-0. Pitcher responsible for all 21 points. 1:05 left to go in the first quarter. Bo Dyer with a 21-yard run. Point after was good, and GP led 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. In the second quarter, Matt Robertson, 38-yard run. Point after was good. GP led 35-0. Then Chase Young, punt return. I'm looking for the yardage here. I've got 75 yards on it. Point after was good. GP led 42-0. 4:12 left to go. Bo Owens took a kickoff return back 77 yards. Point after was good. GP led 49-7. And then with 23 seconds left to go in the second quarter, Joey Green had a 22-yard run. Point after was good. Made the score at halftime. Gatlinburg-Pittman 55-7. The new mercy rule will be in effect for the second half. Rob and Mike will be back in just a few minutes. They'll explain the mercy rule to you again, and they'll give you the coverage of the second half.
Let's give him a hand. Yeah. Chase Taylor and Christian Montgomery, you are wanted at the concession stand. We do want to remind the fans one more time that there will be a bake sale tomorrow right next to the fire department out there on 321 to benefit the Lady Highlanders soccer team. Come out and buy you some cakes.
All right, here we go. Set to start the second half kickoff. Pitzer kicks off. We got another flag here, Rob. I think we got another Highlander offsides again.
Mike, that'll be the third offside penalty on kickoff tonight.
Of course, Rob, with this new mercy rule in high school football, and there's also going to be one in high school basketball this year. Start of the second half, if a team is 35 or more points ahead, it will be a continuous clock, except on scores, timeouts, and officials' timeouts.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Kind of a new territory here. Actually, Mike, I totally agree with that. I think it's a great rule.
All right, here Pitzer again, this time kicking from the 35. Johnson at the 13. Nice little wedge. Still on his feet. Trying to hang on that football. Stopped by a host of Highlanders.
And before this rule was put in by the TSSAA, it had to be something that was agreed upon by both head coaches and the officials. Is that correct?
Right. And Rob, I think this rule came down to National Federation Association rules, and usually state associations drop what they do the National Football Federation Association does for interscholastic sports. It's a good rule. All right, twins left and right for Eric Best, quarterback. He's gone all night for the Bears. Option left side. Here's a pitch. And there's Zach Sutton. He's going to lasso him down at the 31.
You know, Zach Sutton just really dominated that side of the football right there. He was right there on the quarterback when he made the pitch. Zach athletic enough to disengage and then chase the ball down and make the tackle. And I tell you, I was in the weight room this summer. He's a pretty impressive looking guy.
GP, Rob, a lot of good looking athletes out there. And now they got a bunch of young kids out there. Secondary, Shane Latham. Well, he's at backer. Lowry at corner. Sims at corner.
See number 36, Caleb Bryan, calling the defensive front call.
Pass drops, looks across the middle. That ball is incomplete. And Robert's a good example of the old Mercer rule. Clock is still running.
Still running. Of course, Neil Estes giving up his linebackers right there on the blitz, and really, they're taking a 2 or 3 step drop and he's slinging the football. I would get those guys underneath those short routes and pick one of those off.
3rd down, 11, Telco Plains. Rob went down at halftime there outside. A little not too bad out tonight, if you're a fan. Best looks across the middle. Ball is going to be caught. Flag down. It's going to be interference right there. Finally knocked out of bounds by number 8, Corey Jenkins for the Highlanders.
That was a great play on Tellico Plains' part. That quarterback threw the football to the only place where it wasn't going to get intercepted. The kid did a nice job using his body to shield the defensive back and caught it with his hands and turned it up. Pretty good play.
Michael Lowry, the sophomore cornerback, flagged with a penalty right there. Of course, that's going to be declined.
Of course, Coach Estes and the older defensive players that are on the sideline are really not wanting these boys to give up a play.
Okay. Now, don't know what they're doing here. I think it's just now conferring.
Everybody's a little rusty, including us. Oh, that's a different call than what we thought. Two penalties on the play, roughing the passer and pass interference.
Roughing the passer and pass interference.
So they're going to.
And that will be tacked on to the end of the play.
It's going to be 1st and 10.
Anyway, it's 1st and 10, Telco Plains at the 19-yard line of the Highlanders.
A few wild Tellico fans here.
Ball is complete down to the 14-yard line.
Pass caught by number 7, block.
Rob, got big plans this weekend?
Going to Johnson City to see my niece play on her traveling basketball team.
Pick up about 4.
Taking Miss Brady with you?
Taking Brady with me. Of course, my plans are I wake up about every 2 hours during the middle of the night to get her back to sleep. Hadn't had a lot of sleep lately.
Robert, don't get any better. 2nd down, 6, Tellico Plains. They trail the Highlanders 55-7. Best looks. Man across the middle, incomplete. Clock still running.
Pass is in Rodale, overthrown.
Really, he's not a bad quarterback. I think on a pretty good football team, he might not be that bad. That time he looked his receiver off, got all the defensive backs moving to the wide side of the field, and then threw back to his left. And had the receiver kept running, it probably would have been a touchdown.
3rd down, 6, Tellico. Rob, they didn't get that one off.
Mike talking earlier about Coach Hammonds and what a great career here that he's had. He's in his 36th season, and as we mentioned earlier, his overall record is 268 and 120, 25 playoff appearances. He has had 5 undefeated seasons, 6 10-win seasons, and 3 11-win seasons.
Not bad for a country boy.
Pretty good, pretty good. Of course, been a country boy. He grew up over in Newport, played at Cott County High School. Of course, you know, he got off to a rocky start his first year here. His quarterback was Randall Bryan, and Benny almost left after that, but he couldn't get another job. You know, talking about Gatlinburg-Pittman before Benny got here, they have been playing football at Gatlinburg-Pittman since, I think, 1964.
1964 was the first season, Rob.
They have played 486. This is the 487th ball game. Before Coach Hammonds got here, the school record overall was 17, 78, and 3.
Rob, I'm not a math major, but I can figure
Pretty
it
good
out.
football.
I can figure it out. Another good look at our change gain out there tonight. Mike Leatherwood, Kenny Maples, Dwight Maples, Jerry McCarter. And it's going to be first and goal for Tellico.
Good look at our chain crew, Kenny Maples, and having a good time.
Everybody's had a good time here tonight if you're a Highlander fan. So it's first and goal. Tellico. Option left side. Best cuts it back, twisting into the end zone. Touchdown, Tellico.
Mike, you know those older boys are sitting over on the sideline, and defensive coordinator Neil Lestis does, you know, they want to have good stats on the year and good records and when it gets to the end of the year. But, you know, those older boys are not wanting them to score and make plays against us.
Gosh, no. So here with 6:50 remaining in the third quarter, it's GP 55, Tellico 13.
That was 8 plays, 67 yards, 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
And Mike, somebody we haven't talked about tonight, you're talking about doing, well, you did talk a little bit about them doing all the leg kicks and getting in shape is a great varsity cheerleading group. And those girls on the cheerleading squad are Caitlin Jenkins, Morgan McCurry, Caitlin Waltrip, Kayla Hayes, Brianna Scott, Callie Bales, Laurel Kiertz, Kara DeBona, Sarah Stanfield, Stacy Arender, Victoria King, Courtney Zeller, Alexa Scully, and Lindsay Dyer. Great job.
And a beautiful group of young ladies. All right, Tellico to kick off here. Let's see who. Uh-oh, that was a miscue right there.
It's going to be GP football anyway, isn't it?
I
don't think it went 10 yards.
I think it did, Rob.
Maybe it did.
I think it did.
They're going to give it to Tellico. I think he did. I think he touched it before it crossed midfield.
Rob, I want to disagree with you. We're right here in front. We'll get the replay from Randall Bryan, our crack producer right here, but I think it did go across and spin back.
It's going to be first and 10.
Kind of like one of your wedge shots, right?
No, it's Jack Miller. Jack Miller, Larry Waters. Let's see. Who knows? Best wants to throw the ball is caught. Incomplete.
Oh, now how did that work, Mike? They spotted the ball on the 49 and gave it to Tellico.
No catch.
Well, it went across 50 and came back.
Okay. I just put it out there somewhere.
Hey, we're rusty. It's rusty now. Second down, 10, Tellico. Clock running, 5:31 remaining in the third quarter. Best on the keeper after the option. He's got running room and a lot more. Rob, it looked like he was trying to turn around to slide down or something. I don't know.
Mike, one thing that the coaches and staff has done, they're going to go with these younger kids and let them ride it out. You know, a lot of times you'll see a team when you put your second or third team in, the offense is getting ready to score, they'll run the older boys back out on the field.
So it's 1st and 10, Tellico at the GP 16-yard line. Mike Hill on with Rob Younger, Marty Nicer, Randall Bryan, Kevin Tierney, Chris Bryan from Gatlinburg-Pittman High School. Opening night of the 2007 football season. And it's been a good one for the Highlanders so far. A little misdirection play right there, not much.
Gain on the play. Second down.
Dylan Reagan, freshman, coming up here for the stop for the Highlanders. Good football position there.
One thing that's always amazing when we get in a game like this and you put your second and third team in, and you can tell that the level of play is not what the varsity is, and their kids are smaller. But in a year or two, these kids will all be will have grown, 3 or 4 inches, gained 20 or 30 pounds, gotten a lot stronger, a lot faster, and they'll be the guys.
Little swing pass right there, a couple missed tackles, finally knocked out of bounds. So Rob, you're going up to Johnson City tomorrow. You just, I know what you're doing. You're just telling us that you're going up here to watch your niece play on our traveling basketball team, but really, you're going to the races at Bristol.
Not even close.
I think Buddy Parton missed a game.
Can you believe Buddy Parton's not at the game? He's at the race.
In that category. Congratulations, Roger.
Third down, 6, Tellico. Ball's going to be incomplete there. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Bears. Rob, definitely with his mercy rule, the clock runs fast. GP yet to run an offensive play this quarter. You know, Rob, with them throwing the football the way they have, with the incompletions they've had this half, we'd still be at the 8 or 9 minute mark. Best looks incomplete in the corner right there, so GP will take over on downs.
That's going to turn the ball over to the Highlanders. Well, they'll have the ball 1st and 10. The first time in the third quarter, actually.
Like I'm sure a lot of our fans, I don't know if Jim White did explain that to the fans, but I don't know that everybody's going to know what's going on with the mercy rule and seeing the clock run.
Remember, Rob, if you want a copy of tonight's action, it's available on DVD every game and also a season highlight film. And, hey, you just contact Kevin Tierney at 436-9914 for additional information.
Remind the parents that we have the 4 senators.
436-99.
Medicine program providing coverage tonight. We got
436-9214.
That's why I need these glasses on here.
Appreciate that.
GP still has that younger offense in the game, Rob. Orange back in at quarterback. He finished out that first half for the Highlanders. course, Rob always thought on defense if it was 12 men, you didn't stop the game.
You let the ball get snapped, and
yeah.
like everybody's rusty.
First and 5, Owens at quarterback for the Highlanders. Corey Jenkins on the handoff there.
I tell you, Mike, Corey Jenkins and some of those guys, I think we could put them in with the first team and really wouldn't miss a beat.
Good crowd in hand, Rob. Still got the, everybody's, I guarantee they've wore the concession stand out tonight for
They probably
water.
sold a lot of water and Gatorade tonight. Of course, I don't know. We used to have the Bow Dogs and then the Ken Wright Dogs. And what kind of dogs do we have now?
Mike Raider dog.
Raider Dogs?
Green again, he may have the first down. Can't tell from here. Make that Corey Jenkins number 8.
It's still a great opening night for football, even though it ends up that it's not a great football game. You still got a lot of people coming out supporting their team. And as always, there's as much action on the hillside with the little kids running up and down the hill. They've got their own little games going. High school kids socializing, and then old people up on top of in the bleachers. And there we go. There's guys that got their own game going.
I think the little guys go into action tomorrow. They had their jamboree over at Mills Park last weekend. Big crowd.
Had 48 teams.
That's a delay of game right there.
Penalty gets the Highlanders.
Of course, I've been bragging, every time I have company in town or, everybody, I just brag about the high school football program that we have and the facilities. And, and I'll even drive them over here on Saturday morning or something, just kind of show them around the field house and the Bruce Ruttenberg gym and the new entranceway and the practice fields. I mean, it just doesn't get in. There's not a better high school place that I know of. Yet, of course, we finally got Bruce Ruttenberg, the strength coach, off the sideline and in the press box.
And Rob, that's the
Protecting
end
his
of the
shoulder.
third quarter with the score, GP 55, Tellico Plains 13, as we swap ends of the field.
Yeah, half of our crew up here is in rehabbing from surgery this week. Bruce with a shoulder replacement. Randall with he probably needs a knee replacement.
Of course, Gatlinburg-Pittman on the road next week against Sequoia. Then they'll host Chucky Doak. And, of course, Rob, September 14th, like you said, I guarantee everybody has marked this on their calendar. Pigeon Forge comes to town. That will be a week. That will be a good football week.
That's one. Of course, Lee was the assistant principal and taught in the high school. Even the kids that don't play football, that's going to be a big week for them. They're all, I guarantee you the pep rally that week's going to be big. See all the kids painted up there.
What is, I mean,
what's the X?
I don't know.
Of course, I think that kind of started last year with the basketball program to get more students come to the game. Kids that decorated themselves or painted or wore the GP blue and gold, they let them in free.
You ought to get in free. Pierce McCarter on the completion in the flat. Out to number 33, Joey Green right there. Pierce McCarter, the sophomore quarterback.
Pick up a couple yards. Going to be third down.
I think it's GP's second pass of the ball game. They'll bring up third down and about 16 for GP. Corey Jenkins on the carry trying to get outside. Now cuts back inside. Twisting, turning, not going to get to the corner. Knocked out of bounds.
Corey Jenkins looks like he picked up close to maybe about 3 yards. Millsaps on the stop. That's going to bring up 4th down. And
Mike,
about
this is
13.
tonight's first punt.
Matthew Pitzer doing the punting chores for the Highlanders. Matt Robertson snap. I think GP's missing a player right there.
And boy, that's something hard, Mike. If you were a starter on the varsity team and played that first half and then go over on the sideline for 15 or 20 minutes and sit around the locker and then have to come back out on a special teams play.
That punt went about 54 yards.
Well, about time to get a few finals in tonight.
By the end of this game, it'll only be midway through the third quarter for the other games in the county.
Of course, Rob, all season Kevin Tierney got into the construction business a little bit.
Quite a configuration with that he came up with there.
To get the equipment into the booth. I didn't know he had an engineering degree.
I didn't either. Huh?
Let's see if we can get some more scores right here. See if Marty can make some contact right here. Rob, looks like it's going to be another successful home opener for the Highlanders tonight.
How many home openers have we lost?
Mahavir Patel on the tackle. Steen on the carry.
Second down, 5, the Bears. New quarterback in the game right there for Tellico.
Number 28, Dylan Reagan, freshman on the tackle.
Rob got some scores of some other action here within the county late in the ball game. Pigeon Forge still down 13-7. Sevier County down 20-0, and Heritage on top of Seymour 8-7. Uh-oh, this may be picked off right there. Oh, almost picked off by number 6, Pearson Carter.
There's a lot of those are surprising scores. Just everybody predicted all Sevier County schools to win tonight. I guess 3 out of the 4 wins was one of them would be the Kings Academy.
Tellico to punt the ball away here.
Little chaos, Mike. You get to this point in the ball game running second, third team guys out, and then this far behind, a little bit of chaos.
Rob, I don't think it's too early to go ahead and do the offensive and defensive players of the game.
It's Mike, we have a lot more voters this year than we.
Give you a little history note. 1982 was Coach Benny Hammond's first 10-0 season.
Are they still
Highlanders were
sealed
known as the
this year
Crunch
on
Bunch
envelope?
then, holding
They are.
6 of their opponents scoreless, ending the season ranked 3rd in the state. Then on November 12th, GP's hopes for a state championship was stopped and crushed by a 15-10 loss to the Sweetwater Wildcats.
Double sealed again this year. We're going to put more envelopes in our budget. All right, Tellico to punt the ball away here. Not too good of a kick right there. It's going to take a bounce out of bounds there. Okay, Rob, we got the Five Oaks Construction offensive player of the game. That's Matthew Pitzer, 3 touchdowns tonight, early in the ball game. And a bunch of extra points. Just missed one. Defensively, number 7 with a block punt, Chase Young. A couple good licks on defense.
Great special teams play.
And then the Greenbrier Restaurant play of the game, the 75-yard Chase Young punt return for the TD. I tell you, talk about the Greenbrier Restaurant. You talk about casual dining at its best since 1980. The Haddon family doesn't get any
We
better
got
than
to
that.
delay a game.
Looks like I got to delay a game penalty against the Highlanders. I think another thing we need to do is put a trash can in our budget next year too. Next week. I'm about to call Larry McCroskey and take care of that. Joey Green on the carry right there. Picks up a couple back to the 45-yard line.
Good look at Coach Benny Hammond's.
36th season at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School.
Of course, Coach Hammonds has a great group of assistant coaches.
Caleb Brown, number 36, number 39 on the carry. Almost lost a handle there, but ended up with a big loss back there. Good job just pulling that pitch in. A little bit in front of him.
Of course, one guy that's kind of been a fixture around here for a few years now, and Coach Neil Estes, our defensive coordinator, up here in the box with us, calling the defensive plays.
You know, it's just Neil's 39th year in coaching.
Of course, he longtime football coach in the state of Texas, coached a lot of great football out there.
I guarantee he's gone through some hot fall camps down there.
Ooh.
Can't tell who's down. Looks like that's number 6. Make that number 8, Corey Jenkins, down for the Highlanders. Good look right
Well, I
there.
sure hate to. Looks like Scott Bird's looking at his knees. I'm telling you, that kid's going to be a contributor this year. I hate to see him injured.
Good crowd across the way, Rob. Not many people left on this hot, humid night. GP's opener. Here's a replay.
Oh, kid fell on his leg from behind.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking out on the field and seeing Scott Bird, and probably one of the best moves that we've made in Sevier County in a long time is hiring athletic trainers at every high school. They're up here teaching classes half day, and then they spend the other part of the day with the sports teams and, available to all athletes.
great partnership with the Sevier County Board of Education and Fort Sandersville Medical Center. Let's hope Corey's all right. Nothing too serious there.
You know, Coach Hammonds has enjoyed a great football career, but, you know, that right there is probably how many times has he had to do that, help kids off the field? That's one thing that he probably, the worst part of his job.
So got a new freshman quarterback in there, number 3, Ty Marshall. Brian again on the carry. Across midfield, down to the 49-yard line.
Freshman number 39, Anthony Bryant.
If I said Caleb Bryant, it should have been Anthony Bryant. My bad on that. Number 36 is Caleb Bryant. Rob, also tomorrow's the first Saturday after having kids in school for a week too. It makes a lot of people happy. Nice move right there by number 22, Lee Douglas. Make that number 28, Dylan Reagan on the carry for the Highlanders. It's on the paper this week. I think Dylan was one of those kids that went to the Manning camp this summer as well. There's another, I can't remember the other name, but along with Taylor Ogle down there.
I tell you, I was impressed with Taylor Ogles throwing the ball in the spring and summer practice and summer scrimmages. I mean, you know, sometimes you have those big, tall, rangy kid like him that really throws a deep ball but doesn't have a lot of touch on the short passes. But I saw him throw every pass good through the out route, through the, you know, the little flare of the running back with nice touch. But he really does throw a good deep ball.
GP really tonight with not really many passing opportunities. They're scoring at will there to start with.
Mark Reagan played running back here in 1972. Are you out there, Mark?
Oh, almost picked off right there. Dakota Patterson, number 5 on the coverage there, almost picked that off. That'd have been clear ceiling, Rob, I think.
You know, another thing that's impressed me, not just about also about these young kids, but our team, we just seem to be a little more all-around athletic, seem to run a lot better than a lot of our teams have in the last few years.
More team speed down through the depth chart.
I think so. A lot of versatility.
Okay, who wanted it? I got it, you take it.
Pass is incomplete. Gonna bring up third down.
There were like 3 guys in a baseball game trying to get the ball there.
Of course, I don't think you call an interception, do you?
Clock still running, 3:13 and counting in the ball game.
Perfect home opener for the varsity football team, Mike. Got a great half of solid work, executed real well. Probably, I'm sure when the coaches go back and watch the film, they'll find some things that they need to work on. Then they didn't overdo it. Nobody got hurt. Didn't have to, cramps weren't an issue because it wasn't a hard game. But then the second half, of course, all your young kids getting a lot of work, get a lot of practice running in and out.
You know, how huge is it for those freshman guys to play in their first varsity ball
in
game?
front of a home crowd.
And you know, coaching staff, good job, very liberal substitution since midway in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, seeing those guys getting substituted, getting to play in front of their home crowd, in front of their parents, and you know when they show up on Monday when it's hot and getting ready to bang heads and practice, and you're a little sore, it certainly make going to practice a lot easier.
So on 4th and 3, Best back in the ball game. His pass falls incomplete. As we wind down inside, 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Of course, you know, Rob, our stats are always unofficial up here, but tomorrow when you read the paper, Telco's, they put the ball in the air quite a bit tonight. Marshall back in at quarterback. Looks like Pierce McCarter had moved to the tailback position.
Gonna make it 2nd down, and it looks like about 7.
2nd down, 7 for the Highlanders. GP got 5 men in the backfield. Ooh.
Oh, man. I like this kid. Dylan Reagan. Who is his dad?
Mark Reagan.
I like him.
Dylan Pittman, center boy.
Yeah. Of course, is he Dan's brother? Is he younger than Dan? I assume he played probably in mid-70s, I would guess, at GP.
So the clock is stopped here.
I wonder how many father-son Coach Hammonds has coached. Has he had a 3rd generation come through yet? Probably not.
I don't know about that. That could be. You know, I don't know. That'd be a good research. I'll have to put
a research staff on that.
You had to call Beverly Hammonds this week for a couple of questions, so I'll get her on that this week. So we're going to bank this one up after the penalty here with 20 seconds to go. That would be, you know, Coach Ham say, your papa played for me. You know, I mean, it's.
Well, I bet there's been a 200 or 300 father-sons that have played for him.
Brothers.
We got 20 seconds left.
Rob, 20 seconds to go in this ball game. Next week we'll be going down to Sequoia. Because I hadn't been there in a few years. Looking forward to getting out of town.
Has it been 6 years since we've been there? First year they were a high school. 5 years.
Longer than that, I think.
Okay.
It may have been 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
We got a fumble on the play. Looks like it was recovered by the Bears. Daniels on the recovery, but that looks like no. They're going to stop it with 3 seconds left.
Rob, here at 3 seconds, it will be the last play of the ball game here, and look at cute little girl right there. Rob, not much older than Brady. And that's the end of the ball game from Hammondsville. There's your final score. Gatlinburg-Pittman 55, Tellico Plains 13. For Rob Younger, Marty Nicely, Randall Bryan, Chris Bryan, and Kevin Tierney, it's Mike Hilton saying see you next week down at Sequoia. Kickoff 7:30.